What up, Phil?
What up, dog?
And all the pre-stream gang, PSG in the house.
PSG. I invented that.
Did
PSG.
you now?
I did.
Hey, good job. Another thing you invented. Just check it right off.
It's a list. I have a checklist.
You and your philosophies.
We used to have we had an ad for track. Had the philosophy of bowling.
Wow.
And a picture of me back of me holding a ball like this.
Yeah.
And the philosophy of bowling.
Really? Yeah, what would you say your biggest takeaway philosophy-wise in bowling has been? What have you learned the most that's gotten you so far in this industry?
I can't give you that answer in 10 seconds. It's a philosophy of life.
30 years plus.
It's don't shine my ball. What I tell you? How can I think? I got to think about it.
What do you mean you got to think about it? Put you on the spot. What's gotten you this far?
Return on investment.
Return on investment?
That's it.
I would have thought it'd be something more along the lines of don't do too much, don't do too little. Live in the middle.
You could do that, but return on investment. If it ain't going to make you money, then you're not doing it for the right reason.
Oh man.
In business now, not life, business.
Oh, okay. Well, where does this fall in? Where does our podcast fall in?
This is business.
That's business?
Yeah, everybody's replaceable.
Is that a threat?
Not at all. Just saying.
Damn. We're like 2 minutes in.
You could take it however you want. I didn't say it was a threat.
We're 2 minutes in.
It's business. What's going on?
Hey, father time's coming for one of us.
Exactly right. Tick tock, tick tock.
Oh man,
we got a good show today.
That's up for debate. We'll see, but I believe we have one of the greatest shows ever today.
We have one of the greatest shows for us this week.
Yeah, we're gonna shoot up the rankings to give number one a real run for their money. We're gonna get up to at least 14th, I think, after this show.
14th, Wednesday, 3:00 Eastern. We're ranked 14th in the podcast shows.
Yes, and whoever does the rankings, I don't know who you are, but man,
whoever does that did a good job.
No, I don't know who does that.
I don't know who does that either.
Yeah, it must be the same people doing the Hall of Fame ballot voting.
I know it. Exactly. That's oh my God. Don't even go there. We'll talk about that another day. You know what we're going to do today, don't you?
What are we going to do?
We're going to give something away.
What are we going to give away?
I don't know. You're going to have a wheel. You're going to spin the wheel, and we're going to give something away.
Yeah. Speaking of giving stuff away, one of our previous winners got the ball. Which one were you surprised? She wanted to be surprised on the ball, so I surprised her.
So you sent her a T-zone.
I sent her some shoes. And I sent her some shoes. Surprise.
Surprise. So let's tell about the rules.
Hold on, I gotta get the link.
Put up a link. He's going to put a link up. You're going to go in the link. You're going to sign in. If you're a staffer, don't do it.
I mean, you could do it.
Do it. And then
we draw your name, you're in trouble.
That's right. Then if you get picked and you're still watching the show and you have 90 seconds once we pick your name to tell us you're still watching the show.
90 seconds. So you better be at attention.
That's right.
If you're ready to go when this wheel goes.
Seconds, and then you can get a second spin if you don't like your first product. For instance, you win a pair of shoes and you go,
nah.
And then you spin again and you get a ball cup.
I believe they got a grip sack. It was a really nice grip sack. Probably the greatest. I've seen many grip sacks.
I was using an example. I wasn't specifically pointing anyone out.
It's like, I've seen many grip sacks. It's the greatest grip sack I've ever seen. I've seen many, and our competitors, they're not very good.
No, we have good grip sacks. Today we're going to talk about, oh, lefties, where art thou?
Oh, lefties, where art thou? But before we talk about that, we're gonna give a practice spin to make sure
practice spin. I'm taking.
You got to make sure it's calibrated. I'm gonna go with Clear Magic, going purple today.
Let me ask you a question.
I can't hear you. Sorry.
When you calibrate the wheel.
Oh,
what is that?
You tell me. What does it say?
Triple tote.
Triple tote.
Triple tote.
We'll see if that's the hot space. Oh no,
You're blurry.
Blind. I'm blurry. Hold on, let me fix that. See if we can. Here we go.
You know what? For a technical guy, you really stuck it.
There we go. Hey, what do you know? I only had $70 in the budget for my webcam. What can I do? If you would have given me like 85,
I got mine in a Cracker Jack box, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, they don't even put cool toys in a Cracker Jack box anymore.
No, they put little paper stuff. I used to get like rings and whistles and stuff like that. And then somebody said, oh no, kids could choke on it. I don't remember anybody. I lived in a neighborhood with 1 million kids in Brooklyn. No one ever choked from a Cracker Jack box.
Yeah. The worst thing that could have happened was they got a ring and then they learned how to use the Schwartz. Like in Spaceballs. Right,
the Schwartz.
I got it in a Cracker Jack box.
Exactly. Nobody ever choked from a Cracker Jack. So they take the gifts out, whatever. So we're going to talk today about the.
We got exciting news first. We got to do the news first.
Oh, now the news. Yeah, we have a new staff member. Today was the day we reached an agreement with a new staff member. Put the picture up.
Hold on, I'm learning how to put it up there. I don't want to put up the wrong one.
I thought you were a technical guy. You have one job. There's our new pro staffer.
Can anybody guess? Based on the look of the avatar there, can anybody guess who we signed based on that? And he's going to be replacing.
Don't say it, because you give it away if you say it. Don't say
He's going to be replacing someone very important and near and dear to our hearts
on Throwbot videos, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
People are already guessing. They got it. Someone said Walter White.
Walter White. Yeah.
That is right.
Rudy's back.
Rudy is back. So we got Rudy Revs on the team.
Yeah, exactly.
He's going to be bowling PBA 50s. Is that right?
Yeah, PBA 50s and whatever else, PBA. Maybe he'll bowl some stops, some regionals,
Nice.
Yeah, we were joking. I talked to him 2 weeks ago. We started bowling. I said, how's it feel? What hurts? Knees hurt, wrist hurt. He said, no, my neck hurts. I started laughing when he said that.
What neck?
Oh, my God. We had so much fun when we were younger.
Yeah, you beat him in the 86. Yeah, was it 86 Long Island?
I think it was 86.
Holiday Classic. You beat
him?
He
told me the other day when I talked to him that he watches it over and over again. I still beat him. I said, don't feel bad. I watched the one from the year before. I still lose. So don't worry about it.
Yeah, you still gutter after a 4-bagger.
I still gutted after a 4-bagger.
In other bowling news, accomplishments this week, Phil.
Yes.
Last night. Was it last night?
What are you talking about?
You're bowling. You had a clean 30 last night. Is that right?
I did. It's the first time in a while that I actually felt really good. That knee procedure I had.
In fact, Phil was feeling so good about his bowling last night that he immediately put on the clean 30 patch as soon as he got back to the office.
You know what? I can't believe you did that. That's pretty funny.
Congratulations, Phil. Clean 30 award. Way to go.
So they had to put that on the score sheet last night that I clean 30 because I want to try to get down here. They give little gifts away. I don't know if they give patches, but they give a little gift.
Maybe you can get a clean 30.
I want to get a USB-C pen.
Maybe we'll give you a ball cup. How about that?
A USB-C clean 30 ball cup? No, regular ball cup. But I'll tell you, my knee felt better. I mean, it was like the first couple of shots. I'm like, wow, I could do this. I was actually sliding and bending.
Nice.
Yeah, so it was pretty good.
What'd you use last night? What ball was obviously you didn't switch balls last night.
Well, I threw the Intel Solid twice in practice.
And
it felt like I felt like I was going to burn up, so I changed to
breakaway.
Intel Pearl.
Okay. How is this a thing you have to think about? Like,
I
really?
have 3 balls in the bag, and one I only need 2. I need a spare ball and the.
What ball did I
Anyway,
throw?
yeah, which
Yeah.
ball did I throw?
Either
Right.
solid pearl or not.
That's it.
It's either solid pearl or not clean 30. How about
I
that?
have to go. Actually, want to go change the thumb slug in my breakaway because I like that ball the way it rolled. It just didn't feel good. So
Yeah. You change. I tell
whatever.
I tell Phil
Move
to
on.
get a grip on reality sometimes, and he says, "What's the pitches of that?"
Move along. Move along.
Well, let's move
So
along then. Let's talk about lefties. Has everybody got the link? I'm going to post it one more time for those
okay,
just
post the
joining
link.
in. But we do a giveaway every show. We do a wheel spin, and someone watching, not a staffer, but someone, is going to win something on the wheel. And they're going to have 2 chances at it,
Right.
as long as they're watching when we draw their name. So yeah.
So why is this guy asking if you had any storm damage?
Oh, crazy weather here, Phil.
What
So
happened?
yesterday, it was like the warmest day ever, probably record breaking. I think it was almost 70. It was almost 70 degrees here. It was almost 70 here in February.
Oh, it was record breaking for there on that day.
Yes.
I
So
thought it was like Death Valley, 105.
so it's so nice. We're enjoying the day, and then there's a winter weather storm advisory that comes up on the same day. So overnight, it drops down in the 20s, and we have snow on the ground now. But the winds were crazy. There was like tornadoes and stuff like that too. I don't know where. They're probably like further south. I didn't look at the news.
We have a windy day today. We had a cold front coming in. It's gonna be 50 tomorrow.
So tornado in Gary, Indiana. Yeah, so that's plenty far south of us. That's a couple hours south.
But nobody got any. You didn't get any damage. Nobody got hurt. That's all right. Good.
No, one of my chairs, my plastic chairs, my Iditarod chairs, flew around on my deck. That's about it.
You'll find it on the deck.
It just slid about 3 feet. I will rebuild.
So let's talk about the PBA Tour and what's going on with the lefties. I did a little analysis, but we don't have to put that up right now.
All right, yeah. Let's talk about old lefties. Where art thou?
Yeah, I mean, go for Everett. But anyway, it's interesting how suddenly the ratio of lefties cashing and making TV shows has dropped dramatically. And I don't know if it is a direct correlation between, well, there's only 3 pieces to the puzzle: pattern, people, or product.
Yep.
So, what do you think? I mean, what's going to happen? I looked at this week, for instance. They bowled the first block. There were 13 lefties in the tournament this week. 4 of them were in the top 24. You have 7th, 18th, 19th, and 22. So I don't know if they're all going to stay there, but they were fading fast.
So they started out strong, and then they.
Yeah, most of them did. Some of them, like Nate Stubler, has been solid the whole time. He's matching up pretty good. Here's the problem. I watched it this morning a little bit. The righties are left of the lefties.
Yeah, they're lofting it.
Yeah, already. So I don't know if the lefties can overcome that. The other lefties, 26th, 31st, 35th, 41st, 44th, 45th, 52nd, 61st, and 63rd. So there's 20% of the field is left-handed.
That's today.
Okay. 16% of the field, which is 4 players, are in the top 24. But as I said earlier, I think they're fading fast. Yeah. I don't know if it's a product of the fact that they took the urethane balls out of the players' hands, and that was the only way they could overcome the way the patterns are breaking down.
It's possible.
I don't know if it is simply the patterns that they're putting out that are making the righties get to a certain part of the lane, or is the right side just opening up better? And the last piece of the puzzle is people. Are they just less talented?
Were they on the couch all off season?
I don't know, but that's also. I mean, I'm not picking on anybody, and I'm not saying that's the case. I'm just saying there's only 3 pieces to that puzzle.
Yeah.
So what is the what's going to happen with it? Are they just going to stop bowling?
No.
Excuse me.
Yeah, right there.
Let me mute that. That's better.
Phil's having an episode here, everybody.
I had a little bit of an allergy attack over the weekend. The pollens were like through the roof.
Oh no,
So,
the pollen.
my pollen got too high.
Oh, the pollen level. It's not even spring, Phil. Come on.
No, down here, all the trees are screwed up. They got all the leaves popping there, all the plant, everything's growing again.
Hey, we have some data.
Yeah, we do. Let's put up the data for a second. Then we'll take some questions. We'll talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, because here we don't just talk about what we think or speculate.
We deal in science and numbers.
And everybody knows science is fun, kids.
Science is fun, kids. And numbers don't lie, but you could lie with numbers.
Yep.
So let's talk about the first week. There were 88 players. Top lefty finish was 4th. They had a lefty on the show.
Yeah, that was one of the 2 lefties so far this year.
Made a show, right? There were 5 lefties in the top 24. They made $90,000 total. There were 32 cashers, 7 were lefties. So the percentage of the prize fund, they got 19% of the prize fund. They were 20% of the field. That was the first week, and that was probably the best ratio week that there was, and that was the Players' Championship.
Looks like Missouri, they were a little bit above the prize fund.
Right, percentage of the prize fund, because you had one on show again.
Yeah.
That sort of maybe skews it a little bit when you have one on a show. But you go to week number 2 with the U.S. Open, there was $300,000 and almost $300,000 in prize fund. There were no lefties on the show. There were 9 lefties cashed. They got 7% of the prize fund.
And I did look at the numbers on that, and the highest finishing lefty was Matt Russo. He was 557 pins behind the last TV spot.
Wow.
557.
So he could have bowled another block.
He had 5. There was 5 lefties in the top 24, and then they were 17th, 19th, 20th, 21st, 24th.
So let's, and that wasn't even a PBA tournament. So let's go to the next week. Week 3, the Illinois tournament. Again, none on the show. Top lefty finish was 17th.
That was Illinois.
Yeah, it was Illinois. 36 people cashed. 9 cashes were lefty. 7% of the prize fund they got. 18% of the field, they got 7% of the prize fund.
It's not looking very good.
I'm sorry, 6% of the prize fund. I looked at the wrong week. 6% of the prize fund. There was 14 lefties in the field. They had 22% of the field. They got 6%. Now Missouri was different, which is interesting. Again, you had a lefty on the show, and it was the same guy. So I get Russo figured it out a little bit, right?
Well, Russo made one show. It was
he made one show.
Nate Stubler made the other show.
Stubler made the other show.
And right? Knowles made the show also. So no, he didn't. Sorry, he was 10th. Sorry. Stubler made the show. Russo made a show. That's it.
Right. So here again, you have 180,000 prize fund. Top lefty was 43. The lefty earnings were 43,000.
Yeah.
8 lefties cashed.
Yeah. So if they don't make a show, then
that's why the prize fund percentage of the prize fund is high. It skews it, right?
Sure.
So you go to Indiana, and there was again 64 bowlers. Top lefty finished 18th. Now what's happened is, and again, there was 2 lefties in the top 24. Terrible showing again.
18th and 22nd.
Right. They got 10% of the prize fund. They're 23% of the field. So a few things have happened, and I looked at some of the patterns, not the pattern bowling, but the tendencies. Is in the early part of the tournament, they're competitive, and as the tournament goes on, they become less competitive. They can't keep up, and this is a classic example this week. You got Stubler, Farr, Williams, and Jasper in the top 24, 7th, 18th, 19th, and 22nd. Stubler's block has been perfect this week. He's been steady the whole time. But the other guys have had ups and downs. And what's happening is, I think as the righties are migrating left, they're trapped. Now,
staying in that spot, yeah. So Parker always called that the Bermuda Triangle.
It absolutely is.
Yeah, because once a righty starts, say they start around 2nd arrow, for instance, and then they start moving in all the way to like 6th arrow, They
Right.
burn up, a triangle basically of burn throughout the front.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So lefty has to stay out of that zone
And they can't. I don't think they can, and with
unless they
with
loft.
what exactly unless they loft. But I think what's happened, and this is me speculating, um, is the early hook, and probably the carry down is killing them.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if urethane was the answer to that, and did taking the purple hammer out of their hands, did that affect it?
It could be a
I don't
mental
know.
thing right now for sure. You take, what was arguably the most popular bowling ball out there,
Correct.
not just for lefties, but for righties as well.
Right.
But certainly
Right.
left-handed, they love the purple.
Yeah.
Um, I
Yeah.
think there's an adjustment period for the guys
Right.
that were what we call fang bangers,
Okay.
that
Mhm.
are very good throwing urethane. And there's a little transition period right now where they're having to figure it out. What
Right.
do I do? Where do I go to next when, say, the black hammer is maybe not doing as much as I need? Is it having an extra one in the bag or two that are duller for later or different layouts? I don't know the
Right.
answer.
I don't
They're
either.
gonna figure it out.
Well, they're running out of time.
Well, I mean, and also I think scoring pace, like what was it? Was it was it the PDW show where the scores were insane? Like it was just like a house shot numbers all
Last
week.
week, no, last week it was.
Yeah.
Didn't two guys almost broke the record? That was Indiana,
Yeah. Okay. So
right? We
just
had Marshall Kent was way up there with a big block, and so was that kid Benji
Martinez. Yeah.
Martinez. He missed the record by a few pins.
Yeah. So it might be a matter of scoring pace where the right side is just so walled. They make them so
Opens up.
walled
Right.
that where that urethane 230 look or 225 look. Because I've looked at some of the numbers. They're not that far off
No,
from
but
average wise, but they're 10 pins a game, 7 pins a game.
that's why they're close in the first 6.
Yeah.
Or 7.
But as they go, like you said, they fall backwards a little bit.
A little
They
bit,
can't keep
right?
up.
Can't keep up. Can't keep up. And
Yeah.
I don't know if it's. I mean, I've talked to Brian Graham about it a couple of times. We were chatting about what is it that they're not drilling. Like you said, they're not maybe adapted to it. They're not drilling stuff maybe for that or differently. But you would think with the professional bowler mentality and the tour reps that are out there to help them, that they would figure something out or trick it. But it seems like they can't.
Sorry.
Wrong
Want to
note.
block that. Put user
Oh.
in timeout. Apologies for that. We have some chat people that are just needing to get banned today, I guess.
And that happens. We have the button.
That's right.
But so I don't know I don't know if it's just the pattern that they're putting out. Are the patterns different? I don't know if we're seeing, are they using the same name patterns they always used? I have another one for you. This is pretty interesting. How many people you watch the shows? I watched every show. Why are the two lanes playing differently?
All the time.
All the time.
And they say it from the get-go, like from the first frame, like this last week.
Yeah.
Randy was like, "Oh yeah, the left lane's tighter," or "Left lane's hooking more."
How could that be? It's two lanes.
And they just started.
Are they not oiling them by burning a pair before it? So I don't know. I mean, it's just weird stuff going on.
Are you going to put on your hat and say what you're going to say?
I think it's a radical conspiracy.
There it is. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. I think it's a radical conspiracy. It's going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
No one knows the answer to this stuff. We can delve into it. Is it intentional? Are the patterns out there to intentionally shut out the left? Or is it simply the way they're breaking down? Or is it because the product was taken out of their hands?
Which is it? Which do you think it is? Or is it a combination of all of it?
I think it's a combination of all of it. I think it's, and I'm going to use people under this term. I think it's what you said earlier, a mental block, maybe. I think that's part, when I call it people, pattern, product, and people, I think you're looking at that same scenario. Maybe the people The bowlers are not adapted to the fact that they have to have a different look. They're not seeing it the right way. Maybe mentally they feel like they're being cheated. Could happen, right? I think taking a product out of their hands probably had a big role in it because, think about this. If you were throwing a certain ball for a long time and know the moves to make with that ball, now the ball's gone, you have to learn all these new moves.
Yeah. It's like the story of Samson. You get his power from his hair, take away his hair, and all of a sudden he feels weak.
Yeah, now he's selling ice cream on the corner. So, that's not going to work out. So maybe that's part of it too. They took a tool out of their hands, and maybe it's not replaced. I don't know. I think the not urethane is not getting enough play. I think they need to drill that differently, and I think they need to play with that more.
Let's try that one. Yeah,
I think they need to commit to it. And it's the pattern. I don't know if the patterns, you put up a picture of a pattern. Okay, let's go conspiracy theory here. Radical conspiracy.
I need my hat too.
Yeah, you need a hat. I'll give you a dunce hat. Anyway, you got a radical conspiracy. Let's talk about this one. I'm going to put a picture of the Wayne Webb pattern. Here's a picture of it.
I can see it.
How do I know that's it?
Yeah, I mean,
how do I know to change that?
Yeah, it's just a button.
Right. How do I know that?
Mm-hmm.
It's conspiracy. I'm just saying it's a theory. Conspiracy, a radical conspiracy theory. So
you think that the patterns are either misrepresented or
possibly,
they're manipulated in a way that is favoring certain players with certain equipment over others?
Possibly. That's it. I'm giving you options here. Theory, conspiracies. Okay, that's part one. Part two is, do they really study lane surfaces before they go to a center?
I don't know their process there.
I don't either. Years ago,
they used to go there and
back in the old days, you had to have a resurfacing done before they got there.
Yeah, they don't. Not.
No, I know that.
But you don't resurface synthetics anyway.
Maybe they should go out there.
That's gonna look great. Yeah.
But so years ago, before you went to a tournament site, you had to have a resurfacing within a certain amount of times, new pins. You had to have all of this, and then they went in there and they would play around with the patterns. I don't know if they do that or they pick. We're going to put this pattern out in this house. What if the surface is like a parking lot and the pattern you're putting out is a hooking pattern?
It's going to be a bad week for people.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's no study going on.
They got to do something like that because they got to know something about the topography of the place where it wears, and they're going to put out a pattern.
You say they gotta. Why do they have to? They don't have to. They do whatever they want.
They can put whatever pattern out, whatever they want. But I mean, back in the West region, like certain centers we bowled at, some were wood, some were synthetic, and almost 100% of the time, if it was older wood, we were bowling on pattern E, which was like a cheetah pattern back then.
Absolutely right. When the surface was bad, you played the gutter.
Yes, because that's where the least amount of play got, because all the track was burnt in.
Absolutely right.
So that's just how it goes. I don't know how much of that goes on today, or if they just pick based on, okay, we're going to put out this pattern because it's his name tournament and we're bowling in this state.
So the reason I'm skeptical about this, and I know it's just pretty basic thinking, and again, I'm just giving you theory. How can you have a TV show with two lanes? You got one wrong. Every week.
Yeah. And why did you pick that pair? How do you pick the pair?
But why would you have a pair that has two lanes that are different? If that's the case, are you not oiling them properly? Are you doing bad maintenance?
Yeah.
Every week it's one lane. The left lane has been screwed up every week.
The other thing is, I don't know how it works now, but are they picking a pair that they don't even bowl on all week, or are they using a pair that they have?
No idea. Maybe they find one in the middle of the house where it's more convenient to put up a TV show. I don't know.
Well, that would have been super easy at the U.S. Open because there was probably 50 lanes not even in use that tournament.
They could have had them bowling on every other lane. Exactly. But I guess, that's my point. I'm looking at this as here's an organization running a TV show for the PBA. Suddenly, we got a ball that's taken out of play. You got the lefties are in terrible shape. It's going backwards.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm
Here's the
watching
thing,
TV shows
and
where
they
they can't
can't
get
say,
the lanes right.
and they can't say a word about it, because if they do, they get fined.
Exactly right.
So that's why
And
we're here, not
to
as a
be the
mouthpiece for
voice.
them, but
No,
we're an observant
I'm
force
observing. Right. And those are
that
my observations.
will use data to back up our
Data.
theories.
Oh, now you want to use that. You want to use facts. Oh,
Yes.
yeah. So this is what I'm wrestling with. Again, I go back to the three pieces: product, people, patterns, and then I want to look at some things that are going on. And I'm thinking that this is going to be another bad week for the lefties. I
It's not
think
looking good so far.
there might be one in the top 24, maybe two.
You think one makes match play? So here's where
Yeah,
this is
well, this
this
is a
is
bad.
the match. This is the match play format, right? The elimination format this week, right?
Yeah, I got a best of sevens.
So there is a better chance, I think, that a lefty could make this show rather than a format, say like the US Open, or where you have to be, or like the elimination ones where you have to be in the top, whatever. So all you have to do is they have to beat their guy. They don't have to beat the entire field.
Let me ask you a question first, though. When did they cut to the top for the bracket? How many games? How many rounds? How many people? Is it top 24?
It should be 18, and I think they cut to 32, and then I didn't look, but I think it was 32. Then they bowled another 6, and then they cut to 24.
Right now, the cut line is at 24.
It's okay. So 24, then 8. I think we'll have a bye, right?
I think you're right. So 24 are going to make match play. So you're right. They have a chance if they make the top 24.
Yeah. So they'll have a bye.
Right. This would be the best opportunity. That's true.
I think so. It was always kind of that way. Obviously, when you get a tournament where the left just dominates and it's a long format, then you see 4 or 5 lefties on a show.
Yeah.
But back when they had the elimination match play like they're doing kind of this week, where you'd bowl a short format to get to qualifiers, and then it's all seeded, anybody's match, best of 7, whatever.
Yeah. So you're right. This is probably their best opportunity.
18 game cut to 24, then best of 7 matches.
So you got to hope that some lefties make the top 24.
That's it. You just have to get in.
Right now, I think if I were to be a betting man, I would say I'm safe. One. Yeah. If I had to lay a line on this, would I make it 1.5? You take the under or
over. Well, I'd have to look at the standings.
Yeah, well, you got 18th, 19th, and 22nd. And let me tell you what, the guy in 22nd is plus 123.
Mm-hmm. You got Stubler. He's
now the guy in 18th is 135.
You got Stubler in 7th.
Yeah, and the guy in 19th is Kevin Williams, is 131.
Grandpa 18th.
And the cut is 121 right now, 122.
I'll take the over.
Over. You're going to say more than 1.5. You're going to say 2 people.
Yeah, I think it's going to be, because you got a lot of them that are right in that number right now.
Okay. I hope you're right, because
I would even take over 2.5. I think 3 get in.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe it's 3. I'm just looking at, when I watched today, how it got progressively worse as the block went on.
I think they'll figure that out, though. I think after the first block, you kind of.
I don't know. How do you figure? The other guys are going to jump in there quicker.
Well, they're going to know who they're following. I think they have the same cross every time.
Yeah, but I think what happens is the righties have it figured out now going into the night block, how they're going to play him.
It's possible, but it's still fresh.
I don't know.
I
agree. Right? Yeah. I just think they'll be a little smarter where they start. Maybe the lefties are the same way. I hope I'm wrong. But
I mean, you're a lefty, so how does the left mind work? You struggle towards the end of the block. What are you going to change next time?
I have to make a drastic change. I can't make a subtle change.
Yeah. Well, what if you made a change and you shouldn't have? That's the other thing. Other point of the
exactly right.
So it can go both ways. Like, okay, I should have stayed in urethane longer, or hey, I should have. When this goes bad, I need to go to resin.
The beauty of being a lefty is when it's there, it's there. And the downside of being a lefty is when it's not, it never is.
When it's not, there's always social media.
That's exactly right. So that's what happens when you're left-handed. When it's there, it's there. And if it's not, good luck.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you can't make it. You're not going to make it happen. You know, you can't suddenly force it. Where with the right side, it may eventually open up where somebody's going to whack them and then you can jump in on that. So
yeah, Parker a long time ago, he said, you know, in his career when he bowled a tournament, you know, PBA Tour event, he said that 7 out of 10 tournaments, he probably has 0 chance to win. It's just not going to happen. He may cash. He probably will cash. But as far as the reality of actually making a run and winning that tournament, 7 out of 10 times not getting there.
Right.
And then there's going to be 2 out of 10 times where he's in the hunt and he might sneak one out. Other guy might make mistakes and he's going to eke out a win.
Right.
Okay. And then he said maybe 1 out of 10 that the left side is going to be golden for him. He can't miss. And if he doesn't win, he's disappointed.
Exactly. And that's exactly right. Because when it's there, you have to take advantage of it.
So, you know, we're only, 5 tournaments in. Are we looking at it too short term?
Maybe.
You know,
but
obviously,
you're telling me what's going to adjust?
I mean, the strategy involved in playing the lanes. I mean, obviously, they're not keeping up with the scoring pace based on what's out there.
Right.
And if it's a matter of pattern, if it's a matter of, you know, getting shut out, then they're going to have to figure something out quick.
Yeah.
Or, you know, just complain to the powers that be. That seems to be how change gets done around certain organizations.
Apparently it does. I mean, apparently people that complain the loudest got their voice heard. But, you know, here's something for you. So you go out on tour and you're sharp when you go out and you shut out 4, 5, 6 weeks in a row. Your arm swing gets a little locked up. Now they throw you the bone. The left side's going to play and you're not sharp anymore. Now you're the Tin Man.
You're already fried out after the first 5 weeks.
Right. And here's the other part. And I said, throw you a bone. That means they tweaked it so that the left side played more.
Yeah. It's seriously just an adjustment. Like I think they pretty much have it down to a science of what they can do to a pattern.
Like you think there's scientists involved, but okay, you're right. But if they don't go in there and look at the surface ahead of time and say, this is a beat up surface, and you know how they used to do it, they would go in there and put a pattern down and local people would bowl on it and they would watch.
Yeah.
They don't do that.
Well, I mean, how many times do you think has a pattern been adjusted mid-tournament?
In the history of the world, part 1?
In the history of
a gazillion times.
A zillion times.
A gazillion times.
So how is it any different nowadays? It's so much easier to just change the program
and suddenly
what's getting put out.
Well, I agree with you. Right.
Oh, hey, we need to bump up, you know, a little bit more dry boards on the
although they won't tell you they did that.
Absolutely not. It's just going to be there. Now, granted, you know, the lanes are going to, it's a radical conspiracy. Granted, the lanes are going to play a little different as you try to keep stripping and re-oiling, and, you know, that's not going to clean as well as you go. Typically, lanes get tighter as they go on during the week if the lane machine just doesn't do a good job stripping.
I agree with that.
Ideally, there should be 2 machines, one ahead that does all the stripping and one that does all the oiling and stripping. So another strip and oil. So double strip, basically. So that's my thought.
I'm going to give you the worst case scenario.
Okay.
Put on your hat. You said the lanes get tighter as the week goes on.
Okay.
The worst possible scenario for a lefty is hooking heads and no back end.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a lefty. I can tell you that.
Okay.
So I'm going to get forced into where the righty's laydown is. The ball's going to want to hook early, and it's not going to hook down lane. So I'm going to force it through the front, and I'm not going to get any recovery down lane because they got tighter down lane and the head started hooking.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
It's a tough.
That's probably where a lot of them are sitting right now. You know, there's obviously they're not being very vocal about it because they can't, for obvious reasons. You know,
right.
You can't find them if they're barely cashing. They don't want to lose the money that they've already made.
Exactly. But I'm telling you, I watched it this week. It's going backwards. You know, and that's not the garbage truck, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, we got to consider that the garbage truck, by the way. 3:39.
What time is it? 3:39. I missed it by 5 minutes. Oh, you must have ran into somebody.
Don't run me over.
Put the thing up again. Put it up again.
I'm going to post the link one more time.
Go ahead.
We got about 20 minutes until the entries close. And but yeah, I mean,
I'm going to go over it one more time. The rules. Nick puts the link up. You put your name in the link. If you're on staff, that's a no-no. At the end of the show, we're going to spin. We're going to pick a name. If you're still watching, you say, "I'm still watching," and then we're going to spin the wheel. If you don't like what you won,
how shame on you.
You can go, no, I don't like that, and you can go for another gift. You have 90 seconds.
That's it. Easy peasy.
We have any questions?
We give away stuff, and the show is free.
And it's free. Every week we give free information. We give free knowledge every week.
Yes.
You know.
We don't want your donations.
No.
We reject upon such things. We do this out of the fun of our hearts and for our own self-entertainment.
And the betterment of the game.
Yes.
Anybody have any comments?
There's plenty. I haven't really.
What have you been doing?
I've been talking to you.
Oh, okay.
What have I been doing? I'm not paying attention to the comments. Kidding me? But we can go to those after we have our top 5. How about that?
The top 5. I don't have any idea what the top 5 is this week.
Why is that? Why don't you have any idea?
Because I was too busy putting together the topics for this show.
Wow. Yeah, you did that. You did that last week, by the way. That was like a Thursday or Friday thing. What have you been doing since?
I've been recovering from my thoughts.
Oh, dang. Those mental workouts, I tell you.
They kill you.
Exert yourself. Yeah, so Phil has no idea what the top 5 is, but I wanted to keep it on theme. How about that?
Oh, boy.
And the top 5 this week is the top 5 things Phil might say when the left is shut out.
So, one thing Phil never did was complain about the left being shut out.
Maybe there might not be a single one of these top 5 that says anything about being
complaining. I'm going to tell you why I didn't complain when we're done.
Okay, yeah. Because you're so cool.
No, it's not cool. Go ahead.
All right. Number 5 on the top 5 things Phil might say when the left is shut out. Dang. Should have got the Lane Manic Christmas card.
With a little bonus in the card, too.
Yeah. Little Andrew Jackson in there.
A little bean. They called it a bean.
A bean?
Yeah, it's a Benjamin bean.
Oh, rich guy over here putting Benjamins in.
We can do Andrew Jackson. Yeah, here's a Washington. Can you oil lane 1?
I was thinking more like Abe Lincoln. $5, that ought to do it.
No, but go ahead. If you're gonna wall him for me, wall him. Go ahead.
Number 4. At least my knee feels good today.
Felt good last night.
Clean 30 patch.
That's
Watch out, everybody. Watch out. Phil's clean 30 award.
You're gonna make it so I don't tell you anything anymore. Then you're gonna be sitting there in the dark. But go ahead.
No, you can't. You have to tell me everything. It's good. It's good content.
Yeah. Who's having fun with this? You. Go ahead. Go.
Tell me you're not having fun. Tell me right now you're not having fun.
I'm having fun.
Okay, exactly. Hey, Blinken.
Hey, Blinken.
Number 3.
Okay.
Can't wait to tell Nick about all the spares I made Monday.
It's so windy. My door's blowing open. But go ahead. It's amazing. I'm watching the door go back and forth.
That's pretty windy. Number 2. Maybe I should drill another Intel.
I'm running out. That box is not full anymore.
How many do you think you have left?
Original solids, I have none.
Oh no.
I think I have one more original pearl, and I have, I think, 2 or 3 SEs.
So that should last you what? Maybe a year and a half?
About 2 weeks. No, it's more than that. Yeah, I don't. And I got news for the other ones that I have that are drilled. They're not bad. I can always just change the thumb out.
I'm just trying to pinpoint for the audience when we might see another Intel remake, so you can replenish your stock.
You know what? I have to probably want to go get on Facebook and ask people if they have one to contact me.
Oh,
I can start hoarding.
And if anybody does have one brand new in box, 14 pounds, make sure you ask at least 3 for 1 in trade.
If you do have one and you want to make mention of it today, if you're watching, I will reach out to you.
Perfect.
How's that?
And the number one reason. Number one thing he might say when the left is shut out.
I should have invented the lane machine. I should have invented that.
I should have invented the lane machine.
Here
I was too busy thinking about ceramic core. I should have built a modern lane machine.
Modern lane machine. I should have done that.
But you didn't.
That's pretty good, Nick. You did a good job today.
I know.
One of the reasons I never complained about the left when I was shut out, because when I had it, I didn't want to hear it either.
Oh,
yeah.
I suppose that's fair. You give and take. You know, you're gonna take your licks when you got to take it, and you're not gonna gloat when you have it.
Nope. If I'm shut out, guess what? I bowled, put my balls in the bag, went in the bar, had a beverage with my buddies, and went home. When I won,
did the same thing.
Something to me, I did the same thing, but except I said back to them, "Did you talk to me when I was shut out?
Yeah.
Don't talk to me now."
If you weren't there for my lowest, you don't deserve me at my highest. I think that's like a Hallmark card.
It could be. I could have been a Hallmark card. I invented a Hallmark card. But that's that's the whole thing. People get caught up in that lefty righty thing, and you know what? It's what it is.
It's what it is. No.
Nice to tell people, you didn't see me pushing the buttons on the machine, did you? Go talk to him.
Mm-hmm.
And just if you're gonna shut me out, tell me ahead of time. I won't show up.
Yeah. I mean, that's an age-old debate, right? Going back as long as bowling's been a thing.
Yeah.
Oh, the left side.
Right. But here's the difference. I didn't do it for a living only when I bowled.
Mm-hmm.
These guys are out there trying to make a living.
Yeah. In a limited amount of time.
And it's expensive. Exactly. And I go back to the day, I say the old days, there were 35, 36 tournaments in the winter. The swing was 36 weeks.
Yeah, you're going to find it one of those weeks, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You only need a couple good tournaments on a 36-week to really make your year.
Bail out the year, right? Exactly. Now it's over in a hurry. Your Blinken's done. Hey, Blinken, it's over.
Did you say hey Blinken?
Hey,
no,
Blinken.
I didn't say hey Blinken. I said hey Blinken.
Hey Blinken, it's over. So let's talk about some of the comments we have, maybe.
Yeah. Ian actually has a real comment this time. He's like, I remember Indiana, the left. He made a WNBA comment earlier, but he says even in the WNBA they let the lefties play. They let the lefties shoot. But yeah, same thing that you were saying, that they get off to a hot start.
Yes.
And then they fade after the reoil. So
that's exactly right.
Is that just the lane machine not cleaning as well? Are they not stripping? Are they not double stripping?
No. I don't watch it long enough during the day. I got other things to do. But I think part of it is the righties migrate to that one spot, if that's the case. And then the lefties can't get around it. And then when the night block starts, like he said, maybe it's after the re-oil. It's not stripping and cleaning enough. I don't know that. But I think maybe the righties are starting there quicker.
Mm-hmm.
Or they're getting there quicker. But that's exactly what happened. And I looked at that for the last couple of weeks. And that's exactly what happened. They get off to a great start. Even today, you got 4 up there. You got 3 guys pretty close right after that. But then they come back tonight and watch what happens. And I'm not saying it's a radical conspiracy.
I mean, you kind of did.
I kind of did. I did say that, but I'm joking. I'm around. I'm not sure it is. And by the other, here's the part of it. If you did it on purpose, you're a criminal. And if you didn't know what you did, you're stupid. Which is it?
That's right? Pretty funny. Admit to one.
Admit to one of them. I didn't know what I was doing, or I'm a criminal. Which is it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just happening by accident.
I mean, is it targeted also?
That's what I'm saying. Then you're a criminal, stealing.
Right. But is there some sort of influence going on that says, hey, there's X amount of lefties that are representing this company and X amount of lefties representing this company?
That's true.
Well, we don't want those guys on. We don't, even if
I don't disagree with that.
Even if we got to take out one of, this other company's lefties, it'd be better if we just never see these guys again.
That's quite the theory, by the way.
It's a theory.
I like the theory. I agree with you. So again, you either know what you're doing or you're too stupid to know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
It's one or the other. So, and then again, is it the product? Did they take away the purple hammer and the lefties have not adjusted, or the urethane, and they have not adjusted to that properly yet? I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But Ian made a good point. That same point I made earlier, that in the beginning they're in the hunt, and as the tournament goes on, they fade into the darkness.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to happen. You said you got the over and under at 2.5, 3.
I believe 3 will get there. So over 2.5 is where I'm at.
All right, I'm setting the number at 1.5.
That's fine. I think 3 get in. Marty says, "Why is the right side tapered when the left is flatter? Are they purposely making it tougher for lefties?" Good question. The patterns aren't always symmetrical.
No, and I understand that. And here's the worst part about it. They always try to make it symmetrical. You can't make it symmetrical.
Mm-hmm.
And if you make it symmetrical and it's a longer tournament, the lefties are going to run you over. Period. Yeah. It's going to happen. So you adjust it, but do you adjust it based on the surface they're bowling on, saying this is what's going to happen quicker and that's what's going to happen at a different pace? If it's going to happen quicker, then should I put less oil on the left and more oil on the right? Then you're trying to manipulate. If you want to control the scoring pace, you have to be smart enough to be able to do that. And I'm not sure pressing buttons is the answer on this one.
You got to know what those buttons do.
Exactly. You got to know the buttons.
I've had this question come up a couple times, and we didn't look at the numbers on last year when Purple Hammer was still in. But were there more lefties overall in the qualifiers tournaments last year?
That's a good question.
And they are used to faster breakdown. Yeah, it's a good question. I
don't know the answer to that.
We can look into that.
Yeah, we can. But I'm thinking it's pretty close to the same amount of number. The names look similar. There might be a player or two here or there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. All I know is right now it's pretty obvious that if it was a sprint, you'd have enough lefties in the spot.
But it ain't a sprint.
So
what's really going to be interesting is the Masters tournament, I think.
That's not a PBA tournament.
I know, but
that's what
historically,
historically,
lefties have done okay in that tournament.
No, they really have.
Yeah.
I can tell you,
the format lends itself to, you're bowling on, against in match play the whole time, essentially, once you make the match play portion of it.
Absolutely.
And so there's some pattern, or you start off on fresh or whatever, then you go to, burn, whatever, depending on how many you win and whatever. But
sure,
for left-hander, that is advantageous because you could be going to another pair where there's no lefty.
There's no lefty playing on it. I agree with you.
So you got fresh.
Yeah,
so that's an advantage, because there's going to be less lefties in that field.
Yeah. It was worse many, many years ago when the Masters was at the same place where the Nationals were.
Reno.
Well, I'm not saying Reno. I'm saying anywhere, because you had 50,000 bowlers bowling on the lanes, and then the last week of when it was over, you had the Masters, and they couldn't understand why the left side played better than the right. You had 50,000 bowlers bowling on it.
I don't know why.
I don't understand what happened. 50,000 bowlers bowling on it. I keep telling them that you have 50,000 bowlers bowling. Well, what should we do? Don't have it at the end.
Yeah. Do it at the
beginning. Run the Nationals for 6-7 weeks. Make sure all the stuff works.
Yeah.
Then have the Masters.
What an idea.
Yeah.
Do you think of that one up all yourself? You think
I did. Oh, I did. I brought that up too. Yeah.
Here's one for you.
Have it in the middle. Go ahead.
You're gonna love this question.
Yeah.
When the black urethane gets softer, lefties will be back? Question mark.
Absolutely. But here's the problem. It won't get softer. It'll read softer. Mm-hmm. And then they'll take it out and say it read softer, so therefore it's not legal.
Right.
It's not softer. They don't balls do not get softer.
Yes. There's only certain ways you can actually make a bowling ball softer.
Absolutely. One is
solvent.
Mm-hmm. The other is excessive heat. Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's it. I think the problem was this. The lefties all had solvent in their pocket.
They were on their towel.
Purple Hammer, and they were rubbing it on their towel.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so they didn't. It's just my theory. I'm allowed to have a radical conspiracy theory.
And then the solvent fumes were relaxing their swing more.
That's right. So therefore, they bowled better.
So they were loopy, is that what you're saying?
They were looping it, too.
And the reason, going into the whole durometer thing again, is why it reads softer when there's oil present or contaminants present, even on a surface that may not have any contaminants, allegedly, is the same reason that Joey Chestnut dips his hot dogs in water before he eats them.
And what is the reason for that?
They go down easier.
Easier. That's right. So now we have a correlation between bowling and Nathan's hot dogs.
That's right.
It's amazing.
And of course, urethane balls do not get softer.
They do not get softer.
Man.
Oh
That's
my
great
God.
stuff. You see any comments in there you like? I'm kind of going through right now. I'm at the 328 marker right now on chat. So I'm still a little far behind. So what do you see? I'm going to post the link one last time for the entry, though. You got
do that. I'm going to look here real quick, so bear with us.
You got 4 minutes to get your entry in. We're going to be giving away something cool, and I actually have a product to talk about before we get into all that. We're going to do a couple more questions first. But
we'll do a couple of questions, then we'll talk about a product, and then we'll do a giveaway, and then we'll talk about it a little bit more. Let's see.
Let's see here. Yeah,
I'm just trying to find the fact 3 progress. Whatever.
Hey, that sounds like a good idea for a shirt.
I like that.
Perception versus reality. It's a fact-free podcast. We've been fact-free since 2023.
That's right. That's amazing.
Fact-free since 23. There you go.
Yeah,
that's great.
I'm way behind you on these things.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Let's see. Bert says, I notice sometimes they use the left lane of one pair and the right lane of the other. They have to keep the ball return. I think that was during the strike challenge thing.
That's what that. No. Also was during a not the strike. It was another tournament. They did that where they had.
Was it left last year or something?
Yeah, it was something last year. They did that only because of the play. You know where it might have been in Michigan, at was that Thunder Bowl? I think they might have done that there.
Gotcha.
But I don't know. You know, I don't think. I think it was because of the seeding. You know, the way they had it.
Don wants to know: does the PBA use the same lane oil for each tournament, or does it vary based on climate and topography?
I don't know that. I know they use the Brunswick stuff, don't they? But sometimes they use a Kegel machine. Sometimes they use a Brunswick machine.
That I don't know the answer to. I thought we were the official lane supplier, or of all that stuff.
You know what? We are on the PBA. I was thinking the U.S. Open.
Yeah. So
yes. Okay. Yeah, I think they do. I think they use the same oil.
I would imagine they don't change it up because it's kind of a big deal to change up everything and want to use a different oil.
Right. Yeah. Don, you're a great question. And again, I bring up these questions for a reason. Just an observant guy looking at bowling, and I'm saying, how can it be every week the left lane is a problem? You know, and every week Randy Peterson says the same thing. He says two things 100,000 times. That's a urethane ball going down a lane, and he's staying with urethane too long.
Yeah.
And he's lucky he doesn't have to finish on the left lane.
Yeah. And he also said, you know, when our guy left a flat 10, he called it a flaccid 10 hit. And then when his guy left a 10 pin, it was just, that's just a flat 10.
It's a flat 10. Exactly.
Oh, just a 10 pin.
Yeah. Well, you know, somebody's got to make money. You got to figure out how to get your income.
Gotta kiss the ring.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, I mean, there's just too many things going on. I think the PBA is becoming a made-for-TV product, and that's fine. I have no problem with that. It's the marketing arm of bowling. But when you affect people's livelihoods and you don't know why, I go back to what I said earlier. Either you're the criminal or you're an idiot. It's one or the other. You either know what you did and you're doing it intentionally, or you don't know what you did and you're not smart enough to be doing it. It's one or the other. You got to fall. You got to.
Eventually, you're gonna make some people very upset too in the process. They already are.
Well, what's the difference?
I know.
Who am I going to make upset? People, they don't even know.
Not you. I'm saying the bowlers in the tour right now that are trying to get that paycheck.
Yeah, because but they have to realize that when they go every week and get banged their head against the wall, it's like they joined a travel league. That's all it is.
It's a stacked deck, and you're not getting dealt aces.
I mean, you're going every
not this week.
You're going to another city to bowl 18 games. That's all you did. What do you want?
Yeah.
What are you, a travel agent? What are you in a tourist company? Want to show you the new city?
Yeah. Yeah. You unfortunately the base dealing.
I mean, really, and again, it's only making the people that complained about the urethane gloat right now. Look, you see, I told you it was only because of the purple hammer that the
illegal bowling
illegal bowling balls, they can't bowl. Yeah, I got it. But is it fair? Is that right? I don't know. But no, I told you that.
Told you those balls.
I was getting beat. No, wait, I didn't lose in that tournament. I still won. Ooh.
And the ones that are gloating are still not making any shows.
And they're still not making shows because they're done.
Dunzo.
D-U-N-N.
They are in the greatest. They are in the greatest hits era of their music career.
Exactly right. So anyway, let's talk about that product you got.
Yes.
You put the link up again?
For what? The giveaway?
For what? The giveaway.
We already did like a bunch of times. I'm going to put it up one more time.
Well, just in case.
It's actually closed. You just asked me, and it's 1 minute past.
Oh,
check the
God,
time.
Sorry
for that last link, everybody. Phil pressured me into putting it, but the entries are closed now.
That's right.
Just letting you know. But yeah, I'm gonna change the screen to make me bigger than you because I'm more important right now.
Yeah, you are. There you go.
But Hammer has a new drop, and they are new shoes.
I like the box.
Sweet looking box, right?
Box.
Right?
Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
But these are the brand new Power Diesels by Hammer. And I'm going to show these off here in 1 second. What comes all with it. Let me hide that real quick. I'm getting bad at that. But we're going to do a little mini unboxing here while we're on the air before we pick a winner. But accessory-wise, these are an interchangeable shoe. And to go with the theme of the show this week, they are right-handed only. So the lefties get shut out once again.
How is this possible that on this show you introduce a shoe that the lefties can't use?
Because I'm part of the system, Phil, and we're just out to get all. We're just, but yeah, you get
unbelievable
extra soles that you get to put on, all adjustable.
Wow.
You get a shoe cover.
Wow. You get a hat.
You get a bag.
You can wear that on your head. Could be a hat.
Now, you ready to see this shoe?
Yeah, let me see.
These things are awesome, by the way. You ready?
I'm ready. Episode 47, the shoe.
Bam.
Look at that. Is that shiny stuff? Oh, that's pretty cool.
It's got a little bit of shine on the back.
Okay, and is that
these are purple, black and purple? Yeah, this is like a sport material here.
I like that.
Real light and airy, and it's got a BOA type system here. So
you can't say that. You can't say that.
I didn't say that.
Okay.
It's got a non-tying
system.
Bam.
It's an NTS, a non-tying system.
But yeah, this is the Hammer Power Diesel in purple. These are my shoes. I'm going to be trying these out and demoing.
You got those shoes?
I got them. I got them in my hand right here. These are my shoes.
No, that's your size?
Yeah, this is me.
Wow. I didn't know that. I thought you just took them to show them. Wow.
No, I'm so excited about my new shoes. I want to show them off. We just
literally announced them tomorrow night.
Of course I'm going to wear them tomorrow night.
You don't have to break in your shoes?
No, I don't slide.
I can't wear these shoes. I have to break them in. What are you talking about? You got to break them in.
I don't slide. What are you talking about?
I've had guys do that in league. They come to me. They go, I got these new shoes. I got to break them in. I'm like, are they interchangeable soles? He goes, yeah, put the other sole on them.
Yeah. So, somebody asked if they're available in wide. They are not. They're available in sizes 8 through 12, 13, and 14.
And they come in left-handed?
They don't come in left-handed. And the thing that I noticed is, and we've all kind of noticed a little bit, they run about a half size big. So if you are normally a 10, like I am, then get one half size down. But yeah, you got any comments that you want to go through, and I'm going to pick a winner?
I'm looking. I'm there's some here and there, but most of the stuff is, they're seeing it. People are seeing it.
Here you go. This will be one you could talk about. There you go.
So these guys that don't cash, how much money are they out chasing their dream? It's a lot, but I'll tell you what it is in a second. Even the guys that cash, are they covering the expenses? I would like a show on expenses. I'll tell you, I don't know what the entry fee right now is. It 500?
Sounds right.
So you got 500 to start. They probably room with 7 or 8 guys in a room. No, I'm saying you got a hotel expenses. A lot of guys are renting Airbnbs now. You know, where you can get 5, 6 guys at the house. You know, it might cost maybe $700 or $800 for the week. So maybe cost you $100 for the week. So you get in for 600. You didn't eat yet, and you didn't get to the next stop. So depending on the caching, what the last check is, and I don't remember what it was. I had it in front of me last week. I forget what it was, but let's say the bottom check is $1,000, or maybe a little bit more. You're probably making a few bucks every time you make the top 24.
Yeah.
Or 32, depends on what the cut number is. Other than that, no. So a lot of guys have sponsors. You know, they're not bowling with their money. And a lot of guys are on staff, so they're getting some type of retainer. But if you have a family at home, you're in a desperate situation.
Mm-hmm.
You got to make money to not only pay for you being out on tour, but to pay your bills at home. If you're a single guy and you're out on tour, it's probably a good experience if you have somebody helping you with the expenses, and you're a little bit frugal on how you spend your money. You know, you're not drinking it away or gambling or doing something stupid like that when you're out there trying to bowl. It would work out. It's a good experience, and you can chase your dream a little bit. But sometimes dreams become nightmares.
Yeah, I mean, you have to at some point make a show, cash big, win.
Yeah,
It's like you like, for instance, like last year, Kevin McCune won the Players,
right,
$100,000,
right, huge,
right? That makes your whole year and then some. But that wasn't until close to the end of the season,
right,
where he was kind of fringe, like struggling a little bit,
sure.
money wise, earning wise, and all of a sudden now he's in the top 10, or top 5, whatever it was.
Right. The thing with the tour is you got to be sharp, and it's hard to be sharp when you're getting beat up every week.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I said earlier, you start out with the great arm swing of the world, and by the 3rd, 4th week, you got the Tin Man arm swing. You can't get it off your hand. It's going to happen if this keeps getting beat up because you're trying to force it. You can't play your game.
Yeah. Dave says there's some PBA bowlers focusing on YouTube and social media clicks for money, as opposed to focusing on winning. Don't know.
Right. Well, no, I mean, that's an option for them to make money.
If you can do it, that's an absolute guaranteed check that you're going to get. If people are watching your channel, absolutely, you make use of that. If you're popular enough to get that kind of view, and supplement your income, that'll actually help out a lot.
Yeah, exactly right.
So you know what else will help out a lot?
What's that?
You know what else will help out a lot?
Striking more.
The winner of the giveaway.
So before we do that, though, I do want to mention again that we welcome Rudy Kazamakis. I have a funny story about Rudy. This is really, we'll have a lot of them because we're going to have him on a show in a couple of weeks, too. We bowl a high roller, and we're all going to go out. We talked about this the other day. So we decide we're going to go out this night. The tournament's over. And we get a bunch of people. We go to the Frontier Hotel we were staying at, was where Siegfried and Roy started. That's where they had their first show. So we get tickets to go to the show. We're sitting in there, and Rudy gets paged, and the guy is trying to announce his name.
Oh, no.
So I asked Rudy the other day for his email address. He goes, "It's R. Kazamakis." I goes, "No trick name." He goes, "Yeah, I should have done what that guy called me at the Frontier, Rudy Baked Alaska." That's what it sounded like when a guy announced his name. We got a phone call for Rudy Baked Alaska. Then we called him Rudy Casablanca, Rudy Kazamakis, Rudy Baked Alaska. So Rudy's on the team. I'm excited about it. He's a dear friend of mine. I know him since he's 16 years old.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to have him on the show, like I said, in a couple of weeks. He's getting excited about bowling on a senior tour. He'll have a good time. So, Rudy, welcome.
Can't wait to have you on the show.
On the show.
Mm-hmm. All right.
You ready for the winner?
I'm always ready for the winner. Is everybody else ready for the winner?
The amazing thing is your video feed stayed on the whole time, too.
I haven't started spinning the wheel yet, so
That's
hopefully
true.
it stays on.
Okay.
All right.
Ready.
We have picked a winner. The winner this week
Is
of the giveaway wheel spin is Kevin Adams. Kevin Adams, if you're here, let us know in the chat. You have 90 seconds. You started?
Starting the clock.
I got the clock here.
Now start.
All right. You got an extra 5 seconds out of that, Kevin.
You did.
Kevin Adams, if you're here.
Kevin, let us know you're here.
Hopefully your name is correct on the screen. We can find you easy. Otherwise, I'm going to ask you a question to verify.
That's right.
What you put in there, Kevin. Where's Kevin?
That was 20 seconds.
Adams.
You only have another 70 seconds. Kevin. Kevin's going to make us shorten the wait time. It's too long.
90 seconds isn't a lot of time, but hey, yeah, you know.
That was 35 seconds. 30,
Where's
40
Kevin? Kevin Adams. Kevin.
Kevin.
TikTok, Kevin.
Kevin's running out of time. Here we go. 45 seconds, Kevin.
May only get one spin.
One spin. Well, you're lucky to hit the triple roller or the 3-ball arsenal.
That's what happened that one time. The one person that wasn't here.
That's right.
Wasn't here.
Wasn't here.
Kevin.
1 minute.
You got 1 minute?
30 seconds. No, you have less than that. You have 26 seconds.
Uh-oh.
Here we go, Kevin. Kevin.
How much time? Count it down.
Got 20 seconds.
All right.
Kevin's got 15 seconds.
Bet he's a lefty. Somebody said best he's a lefty.
He's probably a lefty. He's got 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up.
He's not here. All right, Kevin, you're going to get whatever you win.
Get what you get.
You get what you get. You took all up. Kenny Williams, he said here, but I don't think that's him. Sorry, ran out of time. You're going to get one spin. And believe me, we like respinning, but hey, here we go. Kevin Adams. Here we go. Ready?
Ready.
Here's my hands. What is he going to win? Come on, 3-ball arsenal.
Here we go. Come on.
Oh, new ball.
Kevin, you want a new ball, but guess what? You're not here. How do we know if you want? Well, Kevin.
Yep. Sorry, you didn't chime in, but hey, I don't think you're going to change something else here. So,
but you got to tell us what you want.
We'll reach out. I got the email here. We'll reach out.
All right, Kevin, you're lucky.
Kevin. But yeah. So yeah. Kenny Williams keeps saying he's here, but it's Kevin Adams. Good try. So, almost lost my earbuds there.
We don't want that to happen. That'd have been a technical difficulty.
But right on. So,
all right. Next week. Oh, you know what? Next week we have a ball announcement, don't we?
We do.
So we want to try to get Fresh Hour on the show.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'll reach out to him today.
We'll try.
So maybe we'll have Steve Fresh Hour on the show next week. We have a new ball announcement. It's a radical ball, 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll do that next week.
You just want to tell everybody everything so far?
No, just tell them the new ball's coming. It's next week. An announcement. How is that news?
I mean, it's new because nobody knows that they're coming yet. So then now you're just giving away information.
Yeah, so they're not going to buy the ball this week that they were going to buy. They're going to wait a day.
They're going to wait a week now.
They're going to wait a week for the new ball announcement. Okay, so next week we'll do that. We'll try to have Stevie Fresh on the show. Then the following week, maybe we can get Rudy to visit us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that'd be great. So good show today.
Great show. Kevin,
how many people?
Reach out. We had almost 400 today. That's crazy. 390, I think, Peter out at. Yeah. So, Kevin, you're going to win a ball. We're going to send you an email here after the show, and we'll get all your information on what ball, what weight, where we need to send that to. So,
exactly.
Congratulations, Kevin.
We'll see you guys. Nick, thanks again, man.
Yep. Great show. Like we said, it was not false advertising.
We said it was going to be a good show. What do you know?
Yes. What do I know? I'm clairvoyant. Must be a radical conspiracy, I tell you.
I'm telling you it is.
All right, y'all. See you next week.
See you guys. Thank you.